Hi everyone, today let's talk about the ADP Nonfarms. Do me a quick favor and like and subscribe and watch the video till the end to help out the channel, and let's get started. So payrolls grew slower than expected at 152,000 in May, much less than expected. You can see previous number was 188,000 and that was revised down. The estimate here was 175,000, so that was not great either. And this is on the back of a weak JOLTS data, which we got yesterday. Annual pay growth held steady at a 5% rate, so that's been decent. Really would like to see that go lower, honestly, for the economy and for inflationary reasons. And looking at where the jobs were coming in, transportation, utilities led with 55,000, health services 46,000, construction 32,000, and then hospitality and leisure, which has been a leading category, saw a gain of just 12,000. In terms of losses, manufacturing down 20,000, mining and resources minus 9,000, business services minus 6,000, and small businesses with 20 to 49 workers were down 36,000, so massive there on small businesses. Wonder if that has to do with the rising minimum wage, but absolutely terrible. Moving over to fear and greed, stepped up to a 46, was at a 41 yesterday, saw a slight step higher. This is still in a very much a downtrend. We'll see how that plays tomorrow. Extreme greed now on momentum after today's push. Fear on strength, fear on breadth. Breadth actually continuing to step lower. Put call ratio in greed's quite low there between 0.7 and 0.8. VIX falling back down here to around that 12 area. We'll see what that looks like later. Safe haven demand was in extreme fear, and now it's back to regular fear. And then junk bond demand stepping back up towards neutral. I think it was in fear yesterday, so a little bit stronger over the last day, but definitely still mixed on the indicators. Pretty crazy to see market momentum, extreme greed, and strength in fear. Moving over to seasonality, you can see we're supposed to be going into a pretty bullish period, and we are seeing that. The 5th was supposed to be down a little bit, but 6th, 7th, 10th, all supposed to be rally days, and it seems like that's coming in a little bit early. Moving over to the economic calendar, you can see those ADPs, 152 versus 173. Previous number revised down from 192. Not great. Economic data was pretty good, though. Global composite PMI at 54, up from 51. Non-manufacturing employment was down quite a bit and worse than expected. Non-manufacturing PMI, however, did okay. And then non-manufacturing prices a little bit lower than expected, but still growing. And then looking at Thursday, don't forget we have the ECB decision in the morning. That is expected to be a cut, so that's going to be a nice. So that could be bullish if we get that cut. Might help some of the markets over here, as well as being a potential precursor for our own cut at some point in the future. Fed balance sheet in the evening on Thursday. And then for Friday here, you have GDP for the Eurozone, as well as all of the jobs data. So non-farms, unemployment rate, all of that stuff coming out in the morning on Friday. Moving over to Max Payne, this does not seem to matter too much anymore. We're already at the top of the puts for the Friday session, so that could be a little bit bearish, but everything was super bullish today, so it's really hard to say. Top of the puts already there, put call ratio a little bit higher there at 1.86, total options 736,000. Max Payne's all the way down at 526, almost $10 lower from current price, so super bullish finish by the looks of it. We'll see if we can hold those gains at the top of the puts for the Friday session. Moving over to the charts, starting off with the S&Ps, not much to say here. It was absolutely straight up colossal move, ended up over 1%. Let's go ahead and extend out this trend line here. Might be a price target now. That's sitting all the way up at 540. Maybe we get there. Momentum, obviously bullish. RSI breaking out. Super overbought on the daily chart. This is going to be interesting on the Tasty charts, but this is a massive move and everything looks super bullish. Obviously broke well above all the previous levels, and we're in price discovery on the SPY. And moving over to those Tasty charts here on the 4-hour, you can see that upper ATR band. We talked about that being a zone where we could get to, and now we're already there in one day. Super surprising, honestly. I didn't think we'd have that strong of a push. And interestingly here, you can see the volume really wasn't behind it. You got the big volume push here, so you kind of expected a continuation, which we did end up getting, but we haven't seen the volume for more continuation to the upside. Upper ATR is 533.38. And that's right here at the top of the candle, so technically we're already above it. And looking at that hourly chart, obviously super overbought. You can see that 8 EMA is almost to the top of the range. That's pretty uncommon. You don't see that super often. That range here, 534.05, is that upper ATR band. Super bullish trend, obviously. It'll be interesting to see if that upper ATR hits that level. You can see over the past couple of months, we have not seen that. Got a little bit of an overthrow here, going all the way back to 15 May, and then we did get sideways choppy action for many days after that, really the rest of the month until current price. So we'll see how that plays. If we get a pullback in time, that would be fine with me, and it's not impossible that we see a move like that with how extended we are, at least in the short term. Moving over to the NASDAQ, same thesis. You can see breakout above all price, new all-time highs, straight up throughout the session. On the hourly chart, no bearish candles, absolutely incredible, straight up. Big volume on the end of the day, everything looks super bullish. Momentum flipped straight from bearish all the way to bullish, so everything's crazy here. 2% on the NASDAQ. We could say maybe an upper level here at 468.90 maybe, but everything looks super bullish. Moving over to the Tasty charts on the hourly chart, you can see we are extremely extended, way up above that upper ATR. That's at 462.18. Then 8 EMAs all the way up above that upper bound. ATR stop 461, almost to that upper ATR. Very, very extended on the short time frames. And then looking at that 4-hour chart, you can see upper ATR here is at 456, and you can see upper ATR here is at 462.68, which is right at that level. We're above it by about $1.50 or so. Again, volume a little bit better than the SPY chart. Momentum very strong. Upper ATR as resistance. ATR stop on the 4-hour down at 454.95. Moving over to the Russell and the Dow. Russell had a good day, 1.53%. Momentum swinging to bullish. It's above this kind of consolidation range. The low here, 201.88. Touched that level again and then rallied up to 205. 206.50 is the resistance. So we're still in this consolidation range. 21 EMA acting as resistance at 205.56. We'll see how it does. Dow slight gain, 0.26. Momentum still swinging to bullish. It's back above the 8 EMA, back above the level, 386.77. Next resistance, 392.44. Moving over to stocks that moved today, we got HP and Moderna. HP up over 10%, massive gap higher, fell a little bit, but this is a strong push for today. Volume was massive today as well. Over 88 million. In terms of levels, you got some prior support down at 1880, but looks very strong there. And then Moderna 6.54% coming off of that 21 EMA, went higher there. And then it looks like it's set to go a little bit higher here. Next level for me, 161.89. So looks bullish. Momentum swinging to bullish. Both of these look very strong going into tomorrow's session. Moving over to the Mag 7, massive breakout here as you would expect with NVIDIA going much higher today. We'll take a look at that chart later, but it really went about 5% higher, I believe. And you can see Mag 7, 3.3% up at 412. That's an all-time high for the Mag 7. Broke out above this previous consolidation price discovery, and it seems like it's set to go a little bit higher. Moving over to Apple and Tesla, Apple continued higher as we expected, hit the next level, 196.79, 0.78 on the day, momentum bullish, RSI breaking to overbought conditions, pretty big volume on the day, continues to look good like I said, and then we got Tesla, slight bullish day, but still in this consolidation. If this doesn't do something soon, I'm going to take it out of the rotation. It's been sideways for like 3 months. Momentum bearish, RSI bearish. Moving over to Microsoft and NVIDIA, Microsoft up 1.91, momentum swinging into bullish. And then you got NVIDIA 5.16. Like I said, super bullish day, broke out above the trend here. Expected to hit that trend line, and we did after the breakout here at 960. Momentum stepping back to bullish, RSI super overbought. And like I said, it is breaking out, so full price discovery once again, waiting to see. Let's go ahead and extend out this trend line here just to give us another potential price target, and that's closer to 1300. So everything looks good for that to go a little bit higher. And then Microsoft, trend resistance 426, next level 429. Moving over to Meta and Amazon. Meta did what we thought, broke higher, took out the level. So next one for them, 520. Big day on the day, 3.79. And then Amazon, pretty good move there, 1%. It's right at the level. Critical zone here. If this breaks down, that could be bearish, but momentum says this is good, should see a break. 21 EMA sitting there at 183.44. Pretty much all of the Mag 7 looks a lot better here today than it did yesterday. Moving over to staples and discretionaries, we got staples down 0.22, discretionaries up 0.58, swinging to bullish momentum. Both of these are actually continuing to move higher on momentum. I still think staples is probably headed up to that 79 area based on this break, as long as 77.50 holds. We did get a test of that, but it's continued to hold here. And then discretionaries, decent move, like I said, 0.58, still looking to get above this consolidation of EMAs. 180.10 would be your next level there. Moving over to transports and technology. Transports finding a bottom here at that 63.22 level. We continue to talk about it. The zone continues to hold. Big volume here at that level. Usually that's a culmination of a move, and it's been a decent one, 71 down to 63. Got a strong day here, 1.33%. Looks like it's headed to 64.89. Transports can definitely move. We've seen massive runs like this before, down from 59 all the way up to that 71 area. Seems like we're holding a higher low here from that previous low. could be a good move. And then technology, obviously, big move, 2.22%, probably headed to this upper trend around 224. Moving over to oil and copper, continuing to watch these. Oil's caught a bit of a bounce from that 73 level. Decent up move here today, probably headed back to this mid-range. We'll see how it plays. Momentum swung to bullish. Could be a dead cat bounce because this was such a down move, and then copper here at that critical level continues to hold 4.54. If that level breaks, there's a lot of downside potential. We'd like to see copper hold here, starting to look like a left shoulder head, right shoulder potentially, so you should catch at least a little bit of a bounce retest to that 21 EMA, but momentum step into bullish RSI doesn't look super great. Moving over to ROIT and Marathon, we got Marathon Holdings continuing to look good. It's coming off of this base here, it's a higher low, it's off the trend line, 144 EMA, momentum swinging to bullish. This looks like a great setup here on Marathon, probably headed to this upper trend around 26. Should be about a 25% move there for Marathon, so like that. And then you got ROIT continuing to look bearish like I talked about yesterday. Big volume coming in at that 8.78 area. You can see that little spike in volume. If it can show some strength, that might be interesting off of that level. That is a big wick into that zone, but definitely Marathon looks better. Moving over to Breadth, we are continuing to see Breadth not really participate in this move. It's holding steady. It's at the level, not doing much of anything. And really it's holding steady at a pretty low level, right in the 40s here on 20-day Breadth. 50-day hanging in there at 48, so right in the middle of the range at best. Not a good place to be, especially when we're seeing markets make all-time highs. We're seeing the Mag 7 really push markets to the upside. In my opinion, the rest of the market is not really going with it. Moving over to the dollar here on the hourly and the daily, you can see caught a little bit of a bid on the dollar. Tested the level 104.4, could not get above it and hold for any length of time, pulled back to the 21 EMA. Still bullish on the day, kind of interesting in here. Structurally still bearish, but hanging in at this decent level. Waiting for some clear direction on the dollar, in my opinion. Moving over to bonds. Bonds continue to crater here, straight down for 6 days in a row on the 2-year, 5 days in a row on the 10-year. Pretty interesting to see this. Makes sense why the biggest tech stocks in the world are heading a little bit higher. I would have thought most of the markets would participate stronger in this, but yields are cratering. We're right at our most recent lows. The 10-year is actually making a new relative low, closer to that 144 at 4.26. 2-year right at these previous lows, so we'll see how it plays out tomorrow. Moving over to bonds, TLT slightly bullish on the day, not much. Still in the same trading range it's been in for basically forever at this point, it feels like. Got here in December of last year, and we are still here with just a little bit of choppy action. TLT, on the other hand, looks super great. So we got 4 days in a row of bullishness there. Coming off of that 89.16 level. Momentum bullish, RSI bullish, breaking above this trend, so trend structure has changed. Probably need to add some trend lines here for tomorrow's video. Next level for me is the highly traded zone at 93.98. Above that, I have a level here at 96.50. I don't know if we're going to go there in a straight shot, but this looks great. Clear breakout. Definitely some buying pressure closing on the high. In terms of support, you got 92.82. Moving over to volatility. Bond volatility continues to rocket higher, which is pretty interesting. And then VIX, as you would suspect, went much lower on the day, 12.62, momentum fading, still in a zone where it could hold a higher low, but it looks a lot weaker here today. Coming off of that 9 EMA, it looked okay, but now we broke down below all the EMAs and SMAs. We might just be moving into another consolidation at these previous lows. Moving over to my accounts, I was basically flat on the day. Due to my job, I wasn't really able to adjust my positions throughout the day. I did roll up most of the day and managed to stay basically flat, like I said. In terms of positions, I rolled my calls out way out in time and tried to get out of the money a little bit. So I got tons of protection onto the downside if we start to see a little bit of a pullback tomorrow. I would imagine we'll see some kind of pullback. That was a really powerful move. We'll see how it plays out. And then on the IWM, it was positive, so I rolled up into that. I do have my call on for 2 days from now. Really trying to get assigned on those shares at this point to get into a covered call position. We'll see how that plays out, but managed to make a little bit of money there. Not as much as I should have, but a little bit. Overall, neutral to bullish with playing a little bit of defense just because of the short-term overextension. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of the jobs data and the move here today. Is it sustainable? Will we keep these gains? And can we continue higher? Definitely like and subscribe if you got any value out of this video, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any future episodes. Of course, none of this is financial advice. This is all for entertainment purposes. Good luck in your trading and have a great day.